Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Irish Media Network Sports Update. I'm your host, as always, Joe Caulfield, and welcome to the show. So let's kick things off, folks, and do a bit of a sports roundup. In football, Shamrock Rovers' 9-year wait to claim the SSE Electricity Premier Division title will have to go on a little bit longer due to the fact that their next 3 games, including tonight's fixture with Derry City, has been postponed due to a number of their players testing positive for COVID-19. So we wish them all a very speedy recovery there. In golf, Padraig Harrington got off to a flyer yesterday at Fairmount St Andrews. He shot a 66 to leave him 6 under par and sitting in third in that competition. Elsewhere, Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy are teeing off on day 2 of the CJ Cup in Las Vegas today. And just so you know, folks, the prize purse there is $9.75 million this week. So needless to say, best luck to the two boys in that. And in GAA, the Taoiseach leader Leo Varadkar came out yesterday saying that the imposition of level 5 restrictions would mean an end to the All-Ireland Championship Series if that was introduced, as senior games would have to be postponed. And as a result of that, we're taking the opportunity this week to talk about football while we still can and all the upcoming action this weekend. And joining me this week to do so is GAA pundit and former player and county manager with Roscommon, winning us a county title, is Kevin McStay.
Hey Joe, how are you?
Not so bad. How are things?
Good, yeah, fine, very good. Getting all keyed up now for the weekends. A lot of games on TV as well. So really looking forward to it.
And you know something? One of the greatest things about this weekend is that it's not a run out for the championship. I mean, we're coming into the business end of the league. Like relegation, promotion are the meals of the day. There's a lot on the line. None more so than kicking off in Tune Stadium at 2:00 on Sunday. Galway versus Mayo, possible relegation to Division 2 on the line from Mayo. Are you excited about that match?
And possible first big step to the league title for Galway. They're in the box seat, obviously, and if they win their next 2 games, they're going to be champions. So that's a gorgeous prize, a league medal at the end of a weird year. So there's going to be a lot at stake. Obviously, Mayo. I think Mayo hold the record for the longest unbroken run in Division 1 of any county team. It must be up to 20 years now at this stage. Now they've diced with the relegation more than they'd like to in recent years, and now they're really in the dodo now. You know, they have to get a result. They have to probably get 2 results the next 2 weekends, but very possible. Tuam playing Galway above in Tuam. You know, these are toss of a coin encounters, generally speaking. So it can go either way, and there's no question. But Galway are entering under a little bit of a cloud in terms of the Moycullen lads are out, but more than that, Shane Walsh and Damien Comer are out injured, and like that's real firepower there, Joe. I mean, that's straight away. That's like you're missing 6, 7, 8 points. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's the caliber they have.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, you mentioned a lot there in terms of what I wanted to talk about at the start here. So for me, Galway were absolutely the informed side of the league 2020. They're sitting at the top of the league, as you say. They're 2 matches away from claiming that title, but they have 9 changes named in their team this weekend from the last time they played Meath in March of this season. So that's a lot of kind of change in what would have been, I suppose, uncertain times coming into this match anyway. Talk to me about how Padraig Joyce is going to be managing that this week.
Well, it's a lot of change, but see, you can flip all these arguments that we all make, because there's going to be a lot of change on the Mayo side as well. You can be sure of that. I mean, I had a look at their line-out against Donegal in a recent challenge match. You know, there's 4 or 5 names that I'd only just about know. You know, the fellas kind of making a break from the club. I looked at the Galway selection. I think came out very early, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. And again, you know, the Galway selection would not frighten you. It just wouldn't. And I don't mean that with any disrespect. Warwick will know that better than anybody. You take Comer and Walsh out of it, and other injuries that he has here and there, you're going to be under pressure. And then it's Mayo, as you say. How's he managing it? As best he can. That's the same as everybody else. This is unknown territory for everybody in terms of match day prep. So all the normalities of meeting in the hotel 3 or 4 hours before the game, the training coming up to the game, the meetings for tactics and analysis, like they're just simply not available or if they are available, they have to be managed very, very carefully. So I would say it's very tiring and very stressful, trying to adhere to all the protocols and still get the sort of work done that you'd like to get done with an elite group of players. And especially for Porrick, in that it's his first season and he's within touching distance of a league title. That would be a magnificent effort by Galway if they could pull it off. So that's going to inform the week that they have. But I think it's still clouded by the fact that COVID has hit the camp, obviously. The Moycullen lads are not available. They're not available even at the under-20 level, which is even nearly a bigger blow for Galway with the All-Ireland semi, I think, on Saturday, perhaps. And Mayo seem to be coming in under the radar. They're tipping away nicely in the background. Nobody's paying much heed on them, and they're kind of saying, well, sure, Mayo are going to get relegated anyway. And Mayo may not get relegated at all. They've shown in the past that when it's on the line, they know how to get 2 points. And James Horn is very experienced around that situation. Mayo still have a lot of very good players, Joe. There's no getting away from that. Battle hardened, and they always have good young players coming in. I saw a lot of their club championship games, and there was plenty of talent around the county. So depends how much of that he uses. He might go for the tried and tested. I don't know, but he has injuries as well to contend with. But this, to me, it's very finely balanced because you just don't know where they're coming. You mentioned the Galway win, and 9 changes since sure that was 7 or 8 months ago.
Exactly, yeah.
You could have changed the squad in that time. So we really have nothing to gauge our forecasts on. Probably the best thing we can do is put a line through the form of the players in the club championship. And from what I saw in Mayo, it wasn't hectic. I thought Aidan O'Shea was fantastic in the championship for Brafey. McLaughlin certainly had big moments for Knockmore, but not consistently big moments compared to O'Shea. And the rest of the county players I saw, I would have said slightly disappointing. Their performances at club level. There could have been a lot more. I didn't see a whole lot of the Galway Championship, Joe. I have to be truthful. I was concentrating on the Roscommon and Mayo one, really, club championships. But I did see bits and pieces, and you've there's new champions in Galway, obviously. So that'll give it a bit of a tilt. But the new champions are in quarantine, if you like.
Exactly, yeah. That's of no benefit to Porrick Joyce this weekend. What did you make of Porrick Joyce bringing Jim McGuinness in for a session there on Sunday? Particularly through the prism of, he was questioned about it at a press conference on Monday, and he was talking about, it's not all about kicking points in training and doing defensive drills. It's about working on the mental aspect of things. What will he hope Jim McGuinness will have imparted to his players on Sunday?
Well, it's definitely, when you bring in someone like Jim McGuinness, it definitely does raise the temperature. There's no doubt. You're driving to a session, and when you get there, a guy of the caliber of Jim McGuinness is going to be taking the session. And that might be the surge or the boost that Porrick is looking for. Just that little something different the week of a big match. But in terms of what you're going to learn, or in terms of the drills or anything, I find that all a little bit hypey and a little bit nonsense a bit. Now, I know the two of them are good friends from Tralee IT in those days, and I can see having him in, maybe having a chat with them. But like, for instance, just from a purely coaching perspective, somebody got the phone and did a little video of it, which was
someone was living behind Tuam Stadium, apparently.
Little for doing, if that's what But anyway, it got out there, and just for the hype of Jim McGuinness was taking the side. Well, it was a horrendous drill. They dropped the ball about 3 times. And half the side I was looking at were using the wrong hands in the hand pass.
Well, maybe that's all part of the plan, Kevin. Maybe it's to lull Mayo into a false sense of security.
No, I think in general we all get a bit carried away with our daftness like that. I won't call it a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. Jim McGuinness is not a gimmick. But I mean, most people will know that drill that we're running, if under 12s were performing it at that level, you'd be a bit disappointed that the ball was on the floor. I mean, after all, there's nobody tackling them, there's nobody marking them, So, and I'm just highlighting that to kind of show you the whole hype and nonsense that's around things like that.
It could have been. It could solely have been for the fact. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Joe.
No, I say, just agreeing with your own point. It could solely have been the fact that Galway had been at such a high level during the league. Mayo are coming in under the radar. It could have been a way for Porrick Joyce to just refocus his players. Say, look, Jim McGuinness is coming in on Sunday. We have a massive match on this coming Sunday, a week before countdown. Get their heads in the right place, that sort of thing. It could have been a totally psychological aspect.
Well, yeah, perhaps. I don't know, but I mean, my sense now is we've already spoken far too long about Jim McGuinness coming in, taking a session with Galway. This happens everywhere. Counties bring in different voices just to shake it up a bit. See, can you get a little millimeter or two out of it? And if he did, well, then the job was worth it. But I mean, I wouldn't overstate it.
If you were calling the game on Sunday, how would you be calling it?
I think Mayo will win it. Yeah, I do. I think Mayo will win it because Shane Walsh and Damien Comer are not available for selection. Walsh is, the highest scorer in the championship. Forwards decide these things, generally speaking. And you take two players like that out of, like, you take Cillian O'Connor and, I don't know, Jason Doherty, that type of player out of the Mayo forward line, like, you're dropping a serious amount of scores.
Your strike force, effectively, of course,
like Harry Kane not playing for Spurs, like, chances are you're not going to score 3 today. You might be lucky if you get the 1, so that part of it. But I put a caveat always with Galway Mayo jobs, Joe, that they can go anywhere. Like, they really can. At their best day, Galway at their best day can be taken by Mayo, and vice versa. And I know that's a bit of a cliche, but it happens to be a cliche that's true.
Absolutely. And it's one of the great things about the Connacht Championship. Like, in the last 3 years, Roscommon have overturned Galway twice in the Connacht final, which was completely unexpected. And please God, we'll continue to do it. Unfortunately, I'm going to move on just to our next segment, because I'm delighted to have you on the show. I have devised this next segment solely for you. It's how well do you know your sport? Take a break and get yourself ready. Are you prepared? Have you your homework done? Well, that's what is it? That's what it's intended to be. Okay, how well do you know your sport? Question 1. This year we are returning to the old system of no backdoor in the championship. But what year was the backdoor system introduced to the football championship?
That's an easy one. 2001.
Well done. 1 from 1. Starting you off easy. Again, it will be lulling you into a false sense of security.
Yeah,
who knows?
Probably.
Question 2. Who won the championship that year?
Galway, I think.
They did indeed.
Yeah.
2 for 2. Question 3. Mayo face relegation to Division 2 of the Football League this Sunday. In what year were Mayo last relegated from Division 1?
That was the bit I was talking to you about. I knew there were a long, long time. So if I'm to guess, 2002.
1993-94. It was the first year the division of the leagues was introduced, and that was the first time they were dropped. And the last time
I knew there were a long, long time in it. And might be after Sunday too.
Listen, it's very hard to get rid of them. They proved that against Donegal 2 years ago. Question number 4. Last year, Dublin won the historic 5 in a row, bringing Jim Gavin's incredible run as the team manager to an end. But what GAA manager has the most All-Ireland football medals as a manager?
As a manager? Cody, surely.
Mick O'Dwyer.
No, Cody is way more than him. Surely.
Cody has 7. Mick O'Dwyer has 8.
Oh my God. Cody's only 7.
Yeah.
I thought he was 10 or 11.
No, only 7. And it's funny, this is a complete side note on this segment, but I was down in Mick O'Dwyer's hotel, his pub hotel in Waterville last summer. And as a player and manager, he has each room kitted out for the year that he won in All-Ireland. And there are 14 rooms in the hotel.
So that's 8 and 6. He won 6
8 and 6. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Question 5.
I thought he had more than that. Anyway,
I googled it yesterday. Look at this. Feel free to launch an appeal on how well do you know your sport after this.
We'll go straight to the CCCC, I think, with this
one. Question 5. What player has won the most All-Irelands as a captain?
It has to be Cluxton.
Stephen Cluxton is right. You're back on the road. Number 6. What county has won the most All-Ireland ladies titles? And this is a multiple choice. Is it number 1, Dublin, number 2, Cork, number 3, Kerry, or number 4, Cork and Kerry are tied on the same number?
Number 4 is very inviting because I know Kerry won a lot in the early days, and that's a weird one to put in. Cork and Kerry tied. And I know Cork won a lot recently. So I think that 4th one you probably put in because you realised they were tied. Yeah, I think I'd go for that one.
It's good deduction, if nothing else. They're both tied on 11, and you are 4 from 6. Number 7. What club has won the most All-Ireland titles?
Well, I know Cross have 6. Nemo will be up there. I'm trying to rule out anyone else. Vincent, no, it'll be Nemo or Cross. Wait, let's see now. Oh, Jakes. That's I'd say Nemo.
You were very close. It was Crossmaglen Rangers have won it with 6. Nemo have 5.
Okay, I thought Nemo had won more.
And number 8, and finally, Kerry are the most successful county team in football history. They've won the most All-Ireland medals to their name. But how many titles do Kerry have?
31.
37. You were so close.
These number questions are shocking.
To be honest, I made it really, really hard. The more I was going through that, I was like, God, this is so difficult. Look, you got 4 from 8. It wasn't a bad effort. You're number 2 on the leaderboard after Tiernan Bradley. And that's our segment, How Well Do You Know Your Sport? Thanks a million for taking part in that, and you've been a great sport the whole way through. You can sit back and relax now, because our last segment is we ask everyone to pick their all-time favourite Irish sporting legend. We're going to play a clip, and then you get to choose, and it can't be a wrong answer.
Okay.
The heat by O'Driscoll. Oh, brilliant by O'Driscoll! It's towards Keane! Roy Keane with a captain's goal!
An absolute rocket. Rocket from Sheffield.
And the 16 times champion jockey, Tony McCoy, he comes storming up the hill to win the Gold Cup.
10, Rory. You know the storylines and the stakes for him. A win not just means the Masters, but it means the Grand Slam. And that's beautiful.
And Sonny O'Sullivan is going to take the world title.
Boudoir Cup to Dublin's captain, Stephen Cluxton.
The fighting pride of Ireland, Katie Taylor.
So Ireland's greatest sporting legend, who are you voting for, Kevin?
Yeah, that was very good. You captured a good few of them there. The 4, I was jotting them down as they were coming up. So Driscoll definitely would be on the list. Shefflin would be on the list. Sonia and Stephen Cluxton. And I admire all 4 of them now for lots of different reasons. And so people forget how good Sonia was, and sort of world championships and Olympics, and it's
lost on me a little bit, I have to say, because it was that bit before my time.
She was an incredible athlete, and was very unlucky. You probably won't remember now, but she was outrun by Chinese athletes in one of the major competitions. I think it was an Olympics, in fact, and it was never absolute whether they were on performance drugs or whatever, but there was a massive suspicion, that at her very best, she was probably gold medal material, and she certainly was at World Championships. I know that. But I like Driscoll a lot. Shefflin is a magnificent human being in terms of sport and in just terms of the way he carries himself, and he's been marvellous with Ballyhale as well as their manager. And Cluxton is he's just I don't know, different gravy. He's
most successful captain in the history of Gaelic football.
Yeah. And just the way he holds himself, he's almost an enigma, and yet you can't take away from the amazing achievements of him. And he revolutionized single-handedly the game in the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
I am a Gaelic football person. That's my background. So if I was pushed to it, I'd be going with Stephen Cluxton.
Stephen Cluxton it is. Thank you so much for all your insight and for having the crack with us the whole way through. I really appreciate it. I know you're on RTE commentating over the games of the weekend. I really hope you enjoy it, as I certainly will myself. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Kevin.
My pleasure, Joe, really, and good luck to the show.
Thanks a million.